Inspired by a movie, but is this seating practical? Good day, educators and thought leaders. Today, we critically examine a much discussed experiment from Kerala, where classrooms are adopting a U shaped seating arrangement inspired by a Malayalam film. While the visual appeal and equity driven intent are undeniable, this presentation today probes deeper into its pedagogical soundness and ergonomic validity. What if we eliminate the concept of backbenchers altogether? Would equity automatically emerge? The seating shift in Kerala invites us to rethink traditional classroom hierarchies. But as educational researchers, we must ask, does changing the physical layout alone yield inclusive and effective learning? The most evident merit of U-shaped seating is the symbolic dismantling of hierarchy. Every student enjoys face-to-face access to the teacher. In this theory, this visibility may enhance perceived inclusion, particularly for quieter students who often disappear in the margins of traditional layouts. This approach attempts to democratize visibility. But we must ask, does it democratize learning too? Discomfort and strain. The body influences the brain. Unfortunately, this model neglects ergonomics. Students are seated along the walls, often with poor back support and awkward neck angles. Several children visibly lean forward and sideways, subtly alerting us to the discomfort. Over time, such physical strains lead to cognitive fatigue, reduced retention, and disengagement. Learning requires both mental and physical alignment. Visibility gaps. Incorporating digital tools in classrooms is now foundational. Yet in this layout, projector screens and boards are not equidistant and equally visible to all learners. The central placement of the teacher's desk often becomes a visual barrier. A technologically enabled class must ensure equitable visual access for all learners. A core principle absent here. Unequal engagement. While visibility to the teacher may be equal, engagement from the teacher is not. Research in classroom spatial dynamics reveals that proximity often governs participation. In the U-shaped model, students are far ends of the curve. Those who are sitting at the farther ends often experience a form of passive exclusion. The central zone unintentionally becomes a dominant cognitive space. 21st century pedagogy places a premium on peer collaborations, problem solving, and cooperative learning. Unfortunately, in this layout, it orients students towards the teacher, not towards each other. Side by side, seating along walls impedes interaction. Thus, while the model favors instructional clarity, it severely compromises interpersonal engagement. Behavior and emotional limitations. Another dimension often overlooked is emotional safety. Neurodiverse learners and those with social anxiety may feel hyper, visible, and emotionally exposed in a fully open U-shaped format. The absence of private zones, calming spaces, and opt-out areas disregards the emotional diversity of learners. Moreover, behavior monitoring becomes inconsistent, particularly for students seating at peripheral ends. Safety concerns. From a risk management perspective, Emergency movement and exit routes must be unobstructed. The current layout positions benches along walls with inward facing barriers, such as the teacher's desk or central furniture. This significantly restricts fluid evacuation, violating basic sapitial safety principles in emergency planning. In the fairness, this design does achieve certain goals. It levels the teacher-student gaze, breaks the backbench stigma, and visually decentralizes authority. Yet, without ergonomic redesign, emotional buffers, and collaborative flexibility, it risks becoming a formative reform, a change in optics more than in outcomes. Solution driven segment. Now we'll be discussing that how this reframing has leveled up a debate. Seating must be functional, flexible, and inclusive, not just symbolically equal. A high-performing classroom supports a multi-dimensional ecosystem, such as physical comfort, peer collaboration, emotional safety, and cognitive access. Let us now explore sapitial solutions that are pedagogically and developmentally aligned with this holistic vision. Solution 1. Modular cluster seating. Cluster seating, typically groups 4 to 6 students, promotes cooperative learning, peer-to-peer engagement, and flexible instruction. Teachers can easily circulate to each cluster, allowing differentiated support. This model supports social emotional learning and aligns with constructivist pedagogies such as Vygotsky's zone of proximal development. Rotational horseshoe and inner pods. A hybrid horseshoe structure with an inner pod enables dual functionality. It facilitates whole class discussion with the inner area, can be used for mindfulness, storytelling, and STEM stations. So this horseshoe structure promotes discussions in the outer ring, and in the inner ring, mindfulness, storytelling, and STEM stations can work fluently. This respects multiple modalities of engagement such as verbal, visual, and kinesthetic, while maintaining inclusivity. Station-based corners. Transforming classrooms into activity-based learning zones. What does it include? It includes reading corners, exploration hubs, tech stations that encourage autonomy, movement, and hands-on inquiry. This model is especially aligned with folk, Montessori, and Nordic pedagogies. It nurtures agency and reduces behavioral fatigue caused by static sitting. Amphitheater tiers. Where feasible, multi-tiered or step seating can serve as a cost-effective amphitheater. This enhances visual access, creates performance space, and adds novelty. Such physical variation simulates attention, especially for upper primary and middle school students who thrive on movement and variety. Flexible floor seating. In rural or low budget contexts, floor seating with adjustable lap tables or mats can enable comfort, movement, and quick reconfiguration. It honors children's natural posture preferences while also reducing furniture costs. When layered with color-coded zones, it enhances cognitive mapping and organization. Regardless of seating design, we must build in behavior supports, emotional safety cues, and neurodivergent friendly zones. Hence, calm corners Teacher mobility pathways and color coded interaction maths elevate the learning environment from merely functional to developmentally intelligent. A classroom should not merely be a place where children are seated. It must be where they are seen, heard, stretched, and soothed. When space aligns with mind, learning flows effortlessly. This is the heart of sapadial pedagogy. True educational equity lies not in erasing the backbench, but in ensuring that every child, wherever they sit, feels like that they are in the front row of their learning journey. Let us design classrooms where learning is not only seen, but felt, supported, and lived. Now I invite you to reflect. Would you implement this model in school? What kind of seating supports both visibility and voice in your context? Don't forget to comment and share your insight. Let us co-create smarter, safer, and more soulful learning spaces together. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this movement towards thoughtful learning spaces.